Hello, everybody, and welcome to Baphomet's Lounge. I'm your host, the incomparable NSS, and we were a little bit, did some heavy stuff last couple of weeks, so let's go back to rock and roll music in general, and today we'll go back to my series One and Done, which I usually try to talk about a band that put out an album and then disappeared. In the past, I had done ASAP, Adrian Smith and Project, and then I believe I've done the Archangels as well, and today's band is called Leaf Hound. They're often cited as the pioneers of heavy metal, hard rock, psychedelic rock, and stoner rock. They only released one album in 1971 called Growers of Mushrooms. The album reportedly only took 11 hours to record in Mayfair's Spot Studios, and then the band disbanded a few months after recording and releasing the album. And that album became a huge collector's item. The band at the time were Peter French on vocals, Michael Mick Halls on lead guitar, Derek Brooks on rhythm guitar, Stuart Brooks on bass, and Keith Young on drums. And all you need to listen to is the first song. It's called Freelance Fiend. And it really is, I would consider it, and I say this with all due respect, it's kind of the poor man's Led Zeppelin. It's got that funkiness of early Sabbath and early Zeppelin. You know, Peter French is a great singer. He just, wasn't a Robert Plant. But that was it. The band breaks up, and that album that my friend, the late, great, incomparable Reverend Al Baker sent me, and it blew my mind. And I highly recommend you just go out there, just Google Growers of Mushrooms and just listen to it, and your head's going to spin off your shoulders. It's just, just real funky. French regrouped the band in 2007, released a studio album called Unleashed, but he was the only guy. There was nobody else. And then they did a 2014 album called Live in Japan. I have the DVD. I have both albums. It's all right. They're okay. They're enjoyable, but it's not like that first album. I mean, French is much older now and doesn't have that balls to the wall type of vocals that he gave, back in the late 60s, early 70s. Peter French actually continued on. He went off to Atomic Rooster and sang on their third album, In Hearing Of, and it was the start of their more funkier sound that continued on in their next album, Made in England with Chris Farlow. I was hoping that this album, In Hearing Of, would be a lot better and take more advantage, especially since it was only a year after Growers of Mushrooms. And I thought that Peter French would be much more, balls to the wall, but he isn't as balls to the wall. And Chris Farlow is a little bit heavier in the next album. But after that, he actually joined on Cactus's last album, Hot and Sweaty, from 1973. Their fourth and final album, and part of it was live. And then he's a little bit more balls out. If you've ever checked out Cactus was sort of the offshoot of a band called the Vanilla Fudge, and it was Tim Bogart and then Carmen Appice. And then they actually broke up after that. They did Bogart, Beck, and Appice, and then Carmen Appice, Vinny Appice, hey, whichever one you prefer. Carmen Appice went off to do many, many things through his life, King Cobra and what have you. Cactus was one of their first. It was more of a balls to the wall type of band. And, on their fourth and final album, before they regrouped many, many, many years later, Peter French played on that album, sang on that album. And then I actually have his album Ducks in Flight. It's a solo album from 78. I found it. And he, like I say, he's like a poor man's Rod Stewart, poor man's Robert Plant. Great singer, but there's nothing there that makes me go like, whoa, what happened to this hidden talent? Where has he been? He's a good meat and potatoes rock and roll singer. He's got the high vocals and the power stuff, but he doesn't have, we'll say, that magic power that some of those others have. But I would highly recommend that you check out Growers of Mushrooms by Leaf Hound. So that's it, one and done. And they did have, lead singer Peter French did have a little bit of an extensive career. Actually, I believe he's touring now with Vincent Crane from Atomic Rooster, who really was Atomic Rooster. He passed away, and Vincent's widow and French and a couple other guys who were in and out of the band. It was a lot of musicians circling in and out. They are now touring as Atomic Rooster by blessing of the widow. So French, I think he was doing that. I think in 2019 he was back with that band, and so he's still out there doing it. So there you have it, folks. And by the way, this tastes so good in my very own Baphomet's Lounge. Pint glass, selling it single glass, 4-packs, and 6-packs. I've got koozies, 1-packs, 2-packs, and 5-packs. And then, of course, I've got coasters. As a matter of fact, Baphomet's Lounge coasters, all available on the link below, or you just go to Baphomet'sLounge.com and it'll take you right to my online store, hosted by my good friends at Chautauqua Audio Works. So, there you have it, everybody. Leaf Hound, growers of mushrooms, one and done. And I'll talk to you again soon. So until next time, peace.